Okay, so monitor when mommy. When in particular, when I know say will record, but when in particular na monitor mommy.
But framing,
But sorry,
framing of this one,
monitor no mommy.
framing is okay, right?
Yes, framing on this one, I think say we can monitor the screen ourselves. So
Okay, yeah, cool.
yeah, but your way na check mommy pa because na one before ever anybody was not a cat recording. Anyway, so hi and welcome. My name is KhoPhi. Today I have with me a special guest, and this interview has been in the works for a long time. I think I should be looking into this camera rather. So, oh no, this one. So, his life story is kind of a lengthy one, and I don't think even in this setting we'll be able to finish all the discussion. But I hope to talk about his life journey. And in this two-part video, I think the first part will be his life journey all the way to becoming a photographer. And after becoming a photographer, what his journey has been. In the studio with me today is, we call him Ganani, which I'm going to find out real soon why that name. And his actual name, he's going to tell us pretty soon. If you know him, if you've if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen some of his amazing works, and maybe you already follow him. But in the studio is Gananie Photography. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Big man things. Even the way he said thank you is a sign of being a big man.
Amen.
So your real name is
Michael.
Michael.
Unless you want my passport name.
Why your name for passport is different from?
Passport name is like your full name.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want my full name, that's my passport. But then my Christian name is Michael.
Michael, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. You might have to speak a bit louder so that probably the try talking and let me see.
Let me.
Yep.
Hold on, let me just put it.
I can put the foam on top of it so that.
No, now it's not touching me.
Okay, cool. Hopefully.
Look, what's up, Charlie? Is everything okay? Or is still low? Hi, what's up? Is everything okay?
So at that volume, it's perfect.
Is everything this one? Hey guys, what's up?
Yes, that volume is perfect.
Yeah, that's my talking volume.
Anyway, so now we know your passport name.
Yeah.
The Ghana name. What is the origin of the name? Like, because I know it's Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah, but
like
the name part.
Yeah, so before I give the long explanation, let me give the short explanation. Ghana near simply means this is Ghana.
Okay.
A tree.
Okay, so the tree.
Yes.
As in here is Ghana or this is
Ghana.
Okay.
So before photography, back in the corporate world, I looked at I would say a problem that I was trying to find a solution to. So all these big events, before the events, you see the hype, the noise, people make noise about the events. Then after the events, you don't hear anything. Yeah. Recently, VGMA, it was there. After the event, the artist of the year, talk for some few hours, it's gone. We don't even, today, we are not hearing anything about it again.
And move on to the next.
Yes, and then my main issue was those of us in the corporate world who don't get to attend some of these events. After the event, we don't even see pictures of how the event took place. We only see maybe the winners. Even that, some people even report with old pictures of the people. So I was like, okay, that became like a problem to me and then other people in the corporate world. So I was like, how do I solve that? So I was like, okay, let me get a camera and then attend some of these events, then take pictures and then post them the next day so that, or by Monday, because most of these things happen over the weekend.
Yes.
So by Monday, those of us who are in the corporate, we go to the office and these things are there for us to watch. So that's how it started. So I was thinking, what name can I give to something like that? Then I wanted it to also be like, instead of just that, I wanted to add more, like a database. Because if you look at sports, we don't have a database of even if you look at our local league and then you ask any journalists or even the players themselves, you ask them, how many goals have you scored this season? I bet you they can't even tell.
Yeah.
How many yellow cards have you received this season? They can't tell. You see. But then, if you look at the outside leagues, like the European leagues,
They
the
have all those,
commentators
yeah,
even are able to tell you the history of a player on the match.
because they keep all those records.
So I said I wanted to create a database like that. Also, if you look at entertainment, there are people who can't even tell how many songs has Shatawale released this year.
Well, maybe he releases songs probably every week.
But there should be a record.
Well, there should be, yeah.
How many shows has Sarkodie performed in his lifetime so far as since he became mainstream? I'm sure we will find it difficult getting this. So I wanted
with such a question, I might end up landing on Wikipedia to see whether his discograph or his performance events and
so
stuff
I
like
wanted
that.
like a database for all these things. How many sound engineers mainstream do we have in Ghana? You get it? So that when you take let's say a creative, you're able to follow up, know when they did this work, when you know the people they've worked with and all that. So I wanted to create a database, an online database. So I wanted something. First of all, this name 233 for Ghana came to mind because I used to watch Channel O back then, and there was a program on Channel O hosted by Sammy B.
Okay.
He was a former Big Brother Africa housemate. So he was hosting this on Channel O. So I wanted to pick that name. So I called him. I got his number. So I called him and asked, is that name still available? Or then he said, Channel O has copyright to it. I was like, let me just drop it.
Okay.
So I was still thinking. Then I called a friend who I used to work with back before I joined this company. I asked him, he's Selassie. I called, he's a journalist.
Okay.
So I like, Selassie, this is what I want to do, but I need a name, a catchy name that would encompass. So the idea is like, this is Ghana sports or sports in Ghana, entertainment in Ghana, that kind of thing. Then I don't know, from nowhere, he was like, this is Ghana sports, this is Ghana entertainment, Ghana nie.
Okay.
So I was like, it's too local. But I was like, yeah, that's the aim. It's supposed to be unique.
Something people can connect to.
So Ghana nie became GhanaNie.com. So it was supposed to be like a blog, you see, or a database of information. So the aim was to
different fields. And
if we take so it will be Ghana nie entertainment. So this is Ghana entertainment. Yes. So that we'll interview most of, if not all, the players. So we take sound engineers, we'll interview. And the thing is, by interviewing them, they get to tell you the real facts about them. It's not somebody writing or speculating. So once they tell us that, we put them into writing, put them into the database. So tomorrow, when there is any issue cropping up, he told us this is what he is. So that's what we recognize. So that's how GhanaNie.com. So after all those things, when I started photography, I was like, the brand is already there. So why don't you just
why not use the name?
So then I just dropped the .com.
Okay.
And then it became GhanaNie Photography.
I see. And the .com part now, is this still in existence? Like creating?
No, that project actually failed because I was working corporate.
I think someone might be trying to resurrect this idea. There's
most bloggers are doing but they are not doing it the way I wanted. I wanted a database, not just a blog. Blogging about
this is close to a database. So let me just give a shout out to this guy, Joseph. He runs the Technova blog, Technova Ghana.
Okay.
And he has this spreadsheet of. He started compiling them, and part of it, involves getting a database of some of these information.
Yeah.
And he's been compiling it for different industries. I think that is similar to what you're describing in terms of getting a hard database of these records that people can reference them.
Yes.
That is interesting. And so basically the .com part ended, and then you switched to using the
photography.
Now, this first part is pretty much about your journey all the way before you became a photographer. And we've had conversations earlier on, and I know you somehow do not originate from Ghana. The
I
whole
beg, calm down. I am before immigration starts looking for me. I am Ghanaian. I am 100% Ghanaian. Okay, so that's before you originated from Ghana. Please, I don't want immigration chasing me.
Okay.
Chronojimi, Ije Somanya.
So for the record, you are 100% Ghanaian.
Yes, half Somanya, half Boku. I was born in Boku,
Okay.
but I've never been to Boku.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
Well, technically.
I was born there, everything, but I've never been there.
Okay.
Why I cannot tell.
Well, at least you did not grow up in Boko.
No,
That's
I don't
so
think. I don't remember any. Yes,
yeah.
what I remember is in the village. I
Okay.
think it's somewhere on the mountain after Boti Falls. It's not far from
Yeah, that
Koforidua.
should be around Botifos Huhunya
We
side.
normally call it Ahinkwa. Growing up,
Okay.
that's how, I don't know, maybe it's a small village or
Yeah.
something,
Or
Yes,
maybe at this point in time it's merged to another
yes, but then
township. And so,
I think up to now, anybody who has lived there before still knows it as
okay.
Ahinkwa.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up. But then um, I moved from, well, I did not move by my own will. My dad picked me up from, I was with my grandparents.
Okay.
So my dad
in Boku or
in
here,
yes,
the
in
Ahinkwa.
Ahinkwa,
Okay.
yes. Then my dad was working in Niger, Niamey.
Oh.
Yes, so I found myself with my dad in Niamey. That was somewhere in the early 90s.
Okay.
Yes, so my elementary schooling and all that.
Everything was done in
Yes,
in
even though I remember I think, was it class 1 or 2 here? Then I was a kid.
Do you remember much of their education system, like how the schooling was, or
It's
was it
French.
similar to? That means
It's
you
French.
speak French.
Yes, I speak French. Not actively.
Okay.
Well, it may interest you to know, I came to learn how to speak English in Ghana. You see, so it's quite messed up because
No, I wouldn't consider it messed up. It's
I
it's
yeah,
just
I started
a different.
yeah, my basic education was in the French system.
Okay.
And because my dad was a diplomat there,
Mhm.
schooling there is like the GI, is it
Yes,
GIS,
the
the
international school
Lincoln?
kind of
Yes, so it was
approach.
the same thing. I was very stubborn. The only thing that saved me was because my dad was a diplomat. Otherwise, I would have been expelled from
The
that
school, but
school.
then they couldn't because
Yes.
technically they will be
Uh-huh.
expelling, and that is not.
Yes, so that's how my childhood was.
I
Then
see.
we came to Ghana.
And what age? Around what age was this? Did you finish what we would consider as JHS here, like high school?
Okay, so I did primary school in Niger. That's the French system. I had to repeat.
That was the primary school, basically the basic. That's 6 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to repeat some of the classes
Things-
because I switched school, I think, twice. From Ghana going there, I think I was in class 2 or something, but I had to go and start from class 1.
because of the French.
Yes, so I went to the first school, then I had to be moved to the second school, and then I repeated. The French system is very strict,
Okay.
so I had to be repeated. So I lost like 3 years.
Wow, that's a lot.
But then I think it was worth it. So I finished my primary, I think up to primary 6. They have a different system, and the way they call it
Okay.
is different from how we have primary 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Then
I don't know if they are
JSS.
using the grade system.
Yes, so they have. I don't even want to remember.
Yeah.
Because some I can't even remember. So I came to Ghana to start with JSS.
Okay.
Then it was
Yes.
JSS.
At the time it was JHS.
Yes, I couldn't even say the boy in English.
Because everything is
French. Yes. So I had to start like
the English pretty much from basic.
Yes.
From the scratch.
Yes. So luckily.
But wait, that means they did not have even an English track for students in the international school back then.
They do, or let me say they did.
But
then I think my level at that time, primary.
Okay.
How many primary kids here can speak French? I mean, even
the
kind of French they are taught, even though I know the French system, like from after primary, their English is good. That I mostly brag about it. That somebody from Togo can speak better English than somebody in Ghana learning French.
Yes.
So the French system, they teach better English than the English system teaching French.
Because the French, like, kids are really not good when it comes to French speaking. At least at that age.
Yes, but then
range.
from the French system, they
They
speak
are able
better
to
English.
Yes.
Yes. So luckily enough, the English teacher who was teaching me in started teaching me in JSS, my class. My parents got him as my private teacher at home.
Okay.
So Charlie, from school, this guy follows me to the house. So he was teaching me English and maths at home.
Oh, okay.
Charlie, from school, we close. Instead of going home to play
rest
video game and all that, this guy is
You
following me
wanted to
home.
play games at that
Yes,
time.
me and my sister, then my young sister, both of us. But then the focus was mainly on me because she was in primary and I
Okay.
was in GSS. So this guy will follow me home, teach me, and within a short time, I picked up and I became like one of the best students in my class. And people were shocked, like this guy.
Came
They used to
all the
laugh at
way.
me.
Of
They used to
course,
call
they
me
will.
French, because everything was in French.
French for you.
So French in the school, I was even marking
The teachers.
the whole school. Like without a marking scheme. So I was using my own.
Because you are at that point in time, you can be considered a native speaker of French.
So my when we have like French exams, my paper, like they didn't even mark me.
They would rather
They
use
just gave me 99 because the thing is, there was a time one teacher tried marking. There was nothing like 100%, but they couldn't give me 100%.
100%.
So they gave me 99. So since then, every time they give me like 5 classes to go and mark without a marking scheme.
Yeah, because
So I was
it's like
marking
somebody
them
marking
like
English who is a native.
Yeah. So
English
even
speaker.
to me, I was surprised how I managed to move from French to English within that short time. It was, well, I would say my teacher did very well to help me
Well,
achieve
I
that.
think that is good to say, because for some of us, if our French teachers were nice, we probably would have taken the French seriously. Some of us, we didn't take French seriously because we thought at the time we are doing it to punish our teacher.
Yes, because when this French teacher came to class, they always made fun of French teachers. Then he was like, today we are going to do something. Then he says, it's like, repeat after me.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So he says, so we were learning the alphabets.
Yeah.
So he said, when I say A suivi de, then you say B.
Yeah.
Then when I say B suivi de, it's like A followed by B followed by. So it continues like that. Then Charlie, they were making fun. So he says A suivi de, then the whole class will say A suivi de instead of saying B. So this guy had a tough time. He was like, no. When I say A suivi de, you say B. Then when I say B suivi, so we start, okay. A suivi de, then the whole class will shout A suivi de. So it was, and then there was another time, Gan, when you say mama, is cloth.
Okay.
Like fabric.
Yes. In
Gan
language.
Yes.
Okay.
But in French, when you say like la mama de,
yes,
it's like the mother of.
Yes.
So this guy said, explain la mama de Sylvia. Then one guy got up, he said Sylvia's cloth. So I used to just laugh. I'm like,
you're mentioning Ghana means the schooling was in Accra.
Accra.
Okay.
Yes, I schooled in Accra.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
when my dad sent us back from Niger, we landed in Accra.
In Accra, okay. So,
Yes,
the teacher you are referring to is a teacher back when you were in...
Yes, I attended Daras school.
And can we give a shout out to that teacher? Because
Mr. Ationu.
Ationu,
Mr. Ationu.
Ationu. It's
an Ewe name, which means the tip of a cane.
well, you see, that is not surprising, because I know many Ewe names have like meanings.
Yes, so Ationu is the tip of a cane or a stick.
And was he good at caning too?
Hey, slim man. Charlie, see,
Mr. Atienu, shout out to you.
Mr. Ationu will let you do your fingers like this. Then he will cane you.
Have you come in contact with him like all these
Since I
years?
finished, recently I heard he was he was undergoing some medical
Oh,
conditions
okay.
at 37. So the class did some donation,
Choose to.
and then we sent to him.
If Mr. Atieno is still around and watching this video, shout outs to you. Eh?
He helped
did-
me. He
yeah.
got me to speak English.
Okay.
Yeah, because
And he there's becoming like getting to speak English fluently happened within a short period of time.
yes, the shortest. Like even my parents were surprised. Like our top 5 best students in the class. I was there.
And you were reading the English books because all the
Yeah. You know, I started straight from GSS 1. And within 3 years, you know, my BEC, by when I was in GS1, it was, I think they were doing 12 subjects.
Yeah, I think at
When
the
I got
time.
to, when it was my time to write BEC, it came to 10,
Okay.
10 subjects. And I had 9 ones. So that should, somebody who spent just 3 years in the system.
That is excellent.
And I had 1 in English, in maths, and all that. The only
As for the French, I'm sure they did not
forget
mark.
the French. There's a story to that one too, but I won't say it on camera before GS will start doing investigation.
Yes.
So what was I going to say? Yes, the only subject I had 2 was science.
Science.
And do you know the funny part?
No, tell me.
I chose Achimota School. I didn't choose Achimota School. My dad made us change everything to Achimota. So I had only one choice, Achimota School.
You had to pick multiple schools,
but
right?
in my case,
you
it
selected
was only
Achimota.
one. I didn't select.
Okay,
So
they
my
selected-
teacher, Mr. Ationu, selected, I think, Ogasco, like 3 schools in Cape Coast.
Okay.
Then those times there were no phones, international calls, and that. It was fax.
Yes.
So we sent a fax to my dad. It was, I think, the next day that we were supposed to submit the form. So we sent a fax that these are the. He sent a fax back that no, he doesn't want me out of Accra. He wants me in Accra. So
Okay.
I should pick Achimota School.
Yeah.
Then Mr. Ationu, there need to be 2 more choices. He said, the only school I know is Achimota School.
Yeah.
So pick Achimota. So I think Mr. Ationu added St. John's or something, which was a day school. And they were not ready for me to go to a day school. So it was they just chose St. John's because there was supposed to be another choice. But he said I should pick Achimota and go to Achimota. So when the results came and it was 9 ones and then a 2, and the 2 was in science. And I chose science for Achimota School. So I was scared I won't be picked because you're choosing to offer science but and you got 2 in science. Yeah. So I was scared, but lo and behold, we went there. My name was on the board. Hey. That's how I got to Motown.
Okay, so that means from high JSS you went to Achimota
School.
And at the time, I think the schooling was 3 years.
It was supposed to be 3 years. Then KhoPhi won the election.
And it became 4.
No, he made it 2.5. So I spent 2.5 in SSS.
Wait. So that means the Ghana education system is gone from 3 to 2.5, and then from 4 to 4 because we did the 4. They started the 4 experiment on us.
We had a 2 experiments, the 2.5. So I spent Form 1 I did 1 year. Okay. Form 2 I did 6 months, and then Form 3 I did 1 year again. So I think we were the only people who did 2.5. I see. Then after that, they started playing with you guys.
And then they played because when we were done with the 4 years, we were like
I think fathers. At the point they brought 5 or something.
No, it never got to 5. I think 5 or 6 was still in discussion or something. Okay. But then they were thinking of moving the GHS 1 to the high school. Like but it never happened. They ended the 4 years on us. So when we finished the 4 years, they are like, we are done.
We did 2.5, which was somehow good.
And the science went well.
But the thing is, it didn't go well. Because at a point I stopped attending chemistry class.
Were you
I wasn't stubborn.
Okay, you weren't stubborn.
No, but my headmistress knew my name. Not my real name, but my nickname.
What was that?
Alabama.
Does it in any way has to do with Sweet Home Alabama?
No, I don't.
Okay.
One senior just looked at me and said, "Charlie, you know this is this guy the J Alabama." Apparently, Alabama was a senior before I went to Motown,
Okay.
and the legend has it that he did not even complete because of drug abuse. So they said I look like him, and some even said he was my brother. So one senior held my hand like this, prep, D hall. Anytime like there is a school gathering, he will hold my hand, make me stand on a table, and then he will tell everybody, this is Alabama's brother.
You know this?
And that's how
I have a similar story.
that's how I got. Then Alabama became Alabi. So that's why now most people call me Alabi.
Similar to me in high school. One day in class, a guy called Loco, his nickname was Locomotion. Loco, if you are watching this, he looked at me and was like, this guy cry, he looks like a madman.
Oh.
So he started calling me Pantan. Up to today.
They call you Panther.
They call me
And you know, the funny thing is, in an environment like that, the name you resist gets stuck. So that was my mistake. I was resisting it vehemently. Sometimes the seniors will punish me because they call me Alabama and I don't respond. Yes. So it got to a point.
Why are you refusing to embrace the blessing?
So it became, and you know what? Let me tell you a funny story. One day, my dad came to look for me in school. I think it was a Saturday. So usually Saturdays, because the house is noisy, I pick my books and then go to the classroom to go and learn. So one time he came looking for me and he got there. He said, I'm looking for Michael.
Everybody's like,
nobody.
Who exactly is Michael?
So
this school has no Michael.
Yes, he was frustrated. So he was driving back. So luckily enough, and that was Form 2.
Okay.
Luckily enough, one guy that I went to GSS with was in Form 1.
With you. Okay.
So when he was leaving, like my dad met him at the entrance, getting close to Jibeg House. Cadbury and Jibeg, like we share the same street. So close to Jibeg House, then my dad met. Then he was like, I'm surprised. I came looking for Michael, and so the guy asked, what name did you mention? He said, Michael, of course. He said, no. You know what? Go back to Cadbury House. I was in Cadbury House. Go back and then say you're looking for Alabama. Oh, see.
Basically, they've changed your name.
So when he got there, he asked. They were able to direct him from point to point all the way to the classroom in which I was.
Like an internet packet.
Yes, hopping from router to router. They gave him and at any point he got, when he asked Alabama, they I saw him at this point, till he got to the classroom and then found me. Then you know what? He went home with the name. I went to tell my siblings and my people at home that I've changed my name in school to this. So I got home one midterm. My mom was calling me Alabama. My sister was calling me Alabama. I didn't understand. I was like, this name is only in Motown. How did it get? Nobody told me anything. So it was late, I think, after Motown or something, when my sister confessed that it was my dad who brought the name, that this is what happened.
When he came looking for you?
I think one time, in school, I never had any problem.
Okay.
I was one of the good students.
Well, that's really
yeah,
good.
Unless of course sometimes you are in a stubborn class and there is mass punishment. Yes, I hide behind the mass thing to misbehave, but then individually, I don't misbehave. So I think there was a time.
I wish I could say same about myself.
There was a meeting between the headmistress and my dad.
Okay.
Funny enough, the headmistress knew Alabama.
Oh.
Can you imagine? So in Motown, the name Alabama became so popular just because of what my seniors were doing to me. D-Hall. Imagine a school of 1,500 students. Okay? I think 500 were on the west and then 1,000 were on the east. I was on the east. Then these 1,000 students in a dining hall, the whole place is quiet. And then one senior screams from one table, Alabama, stand up. Can you imagine?
So basically, you just had, you became famous just for resembling somebody.
They said I looked, and you know, when later, I think Form 3, when we were about to complete, for no reason, this guy paid a visit.
The
The
original
original
Alabama,
Alabama.
just to see
I
the
saw
school
the
sign.
guy myself. I was like, wow, I need to question my dad.
Why? You guys looked alike.
Yes, the head. Just that he had more like a box head.
Okay.
But you know, at that time, it was non-school to keep beard.
Yes.
And me, I'm
yes,
very hairy.
Yes.
So I used to cut like this, they call 5-5.
Yes.
Cut it here and goatee. The guy had the same with a square face, just like me, and everything.
So the resemblance they were
The
talking
result
about
was there.
was
The only thing is, me, I was not sheeing.
okay.
But they said he was sheeing, then he had some mental
Okay.
thing, so he couldn't complete.
Okay.
Me, I was not sheeing. Because they call me Alabama, so
They thought
they
you
thought I was
also-
also sheeing.
Yeah.
But me, no. See, so that's how the headmistress, the name got to the headmistress. Because, you know, Alabama, like that. So that's how the name
Till
Alabama
date,
got.
some of my friends, when they meet me, they are like Pantine.
My Motown mate today, this guy, John Dumelo, was my mate.
Okay.
If you see John Dumelo today and you mention Alabama, he knows it's me. Recently, his graduation at Gimpa, I saw him. I had a gig there to shoot someone's graduation, and I met him. Like, he was about 10 meters away. He just shouted, "Hey, Alabama!" So my mates still, people I was in class with and in the same house, they didn't know my real name. They knew
funny,
Alabama.
It's funny how because thinking back, how some students can come up with names for people. There was one guy, Amwa. Somebody looked at his stomach and was like, his stomach looks like a compass. And
What compass?
Compass. And we started calling the guy Compass, coming up with songs. And I'm like, what else talk is wrong with us?
No, it's part of being in a boarding house. Sometimes I miss the boarding house because, you know, being in the boarding house has really taught me a lot.
Okay.
I grew up like being by myself. At home, you have your room, your TV, your video game. I grew up playing video games. My dad would rather he buys me video games than allowing me to go for fanfare.
Yeah.
So I had all the video games in my room with my TV. So up to now, when I go out, I feel, you need to rush back home.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. So going to the boarding house, the first few weeks and days were like a bit challenging for me because I put my slippers by my bunk bed. I wake up, they are gone. I'm like, why? Didn't you know you will need yours? Why did I pick up my soap going to bath? Somebody says, let's share your soap. I didn't understand.
What do you mean by sharing?
Because at home, I was used to everything by myself. And I wasn't even sharing with my sister. I had my room. She also had her room. So I wasn't used to that.
I think that environment introduces you to different ways.
So because of that, I got used to this communal living. So I opened up. I wasn't pissed anymore. See, my dad gave me this is it Davidoff cool water, the perfume.
No,
Is this nice perfume?
Okay.
One of his travels, he brought it to me. I took it to the boarding house.
Oh, it's gone.
I sprayed the thing. One senior smelled. He said, "Hey, who is using that perfume? Bring it. It's non-school."
That's all.
I took it to him. I found the empty container in another house the next day. So they had used the thing just because it was a high-grade perfume. And, me from one boy using it.
How dare you use such a...
So after a few of those experiences, I got used to... I didn't understand why I opened my chop box. I'm coming to set my cornflakes and things and chop, and somebody says, "Give me some." Didn't you know you will need some? Why didn't you bring some for yourself? Later, after spending...
You had an interesting boarding house experience, and that helped you kind of get out of your shell, so to speak.
Yes.
So I am assuming as a good student, you definitely came out with flying colors, as Ghanaians would like to put it.
Which one? GSS or SS?
The SS one. Because one, you went to Motown, you are
But going to Motown doesn't guarantee you got a flying car. So I think I was telling you that at a point, well, I did science,
Okay.
but not pure science. I
not
fear
the
blood.
elective science. So
I
you
did
did core science.
No, I did science.
Wait.
Elective science is GSS, but SS I did like pure. I did science,
Yes.
but not pure science. So let me explain.
Okay.
I fear blood. When I see blood now, I can just pass out. So
Interesting.
yes, so in Motown we have like science.
Okay.
Then there is Greek science.
Mhm.
There is the science that those who want to be medical doctors do. That
At
has
the time, I think there were those distinctions, right?
yes. So I think even now they do. So that's like science with biology.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
there is the other science for like
Chemistry. I think there's
so
the physics type.
the three subjects in science that are like constant: physics, chemistry, and maths. Those
Okay.
were constant for all science
Okay.
students.
Okay.
And then the fourth one, because we are doing 4 electives, the fourth science, it's either you're doing this medicine and all, so you do biology.
Biology in addition.
Then either that or your fourth one can be Greek. So those ones we call them Greek science.
Okay.
So that's science 5.
Yeah.
Then we have those of us who wanted to be aeronautic engineers. Like we want to be a surveyor or you want to do geography.
Okay.
So we had chemistry, physics, maths, and geography.
Okay.
So I chose that. Luckily, I think that was the year they started that thing.
Okay.
I was so lucky because I didn't want anything to do with blood, dissecting guinea pigs and those things. Yes. So I did that. And at a point, I stopped attending chemistry classes. Why? Because we go to the lab and we were mixing gases. And people were using it to do like some
Fancy
things.
stuff.
Not even fancy. Preparing ammonia gas. You know how ammonia gas smells like. And the whole place, and some were also adding their natural gas to the thing. So it became something. And it got to a point I was not understanding anything in chemistry. I was like, I said with geography. I want to be an aeronautic engineer.
Yeah.
What has chemistry got to? At least physics and maths, and then geography, knowing about coordinates and all that. But chemistry. So I think Form 2, second term, I stopped attending chemistry classes, especially the lab ones.
Okay.
I stopped attending. Then eventually I stopped chemistry totally. So I don't know what I had in chemistry, but I didn't do well.
Okay.
Yes.
But then for the others that you had interest in, it went well.
Yes. Of course, we all did well. So.
And me like this, we basically my goal was to not fail.
I did not fail. I passed.
So me, I passed.
Yes, so I was not beyond the acceptable aggregate.
The school, now it was like.
And one thing is, I'm a technical person. I love
hands-on stuff.
Yes, so I wasn't okay with, French we call it recitation.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be reciting stuff.
Yeah.
The teacher will come and stand, draw and do all that. You don't see the thing happening.
Yeah.
Geography, I liked it because most of the things we were learning were like everyday.
Things
the rocks.
You, yeah.
We knew about the rocks. The weather. We had a geostation in Motown where we could measure rainfall.
Okay.
Those things were fascinating.
Yeah.
But physics, mostly, we didn't have most of the things. Yeah. You're learning about atoms. Atoms are in chemistry.
Atoms is chemistry.
Yes,
moles.
But yes. Physics, we were learning about these forces.
Sectek, shakara, mole.
We were learning about forces, centripetal, centrifugal. And these things, we could not see or feel them. So it was, but with geog at least we could. They tell us about rainfall patterns and all that. You saw some of those things and we could relate with. So I was interested in such things. And along the line, my aeronautic engineering dream had to be dropped.
Why?
Because of September 11. I wanted to be a pilot, and my dad said, the aim was to continue schooling in the US. But with September 11, it became hard for a black man to be accepted. At that time, even Ghana Airways was not doing good. So after learning, which planes will you fly?
And you can't go and fly outside because
Exactly.
they are
So
not even.
my dad said you can't fly in Ghana because then Ghana Airways,
was
even
not,
now with
yeah,
our and passion and all that,
passion and yeah.
most of them are. I will not
We
say
don't have even a national carrier at the moment.
exactly. So he said no, I should
It's I
change
think
it.
it's the national carrier they use for the restaurants. So.
Even with the as a restaurant, we can't even manage it. So
It
you
is
see,
what it is.
it is what it is. So my dad said I should rather do finance.
Okay.
So I could get a place in maybe World Bank or IMF.
Okay.
I said I can't spend my life calculating people's salary.
The
And
office life is not cut for you.
I like especially finance, sitting
Okay.
down calculating and
Numbers
figures.
yeah.
No. So I told him I'd rather do a computer.
Okay.
So that was how my IT journey started. And I was among the group that designed the first school website for Achimota School.
Oh.
There was a club, World Link. So prep time, we will be in the computer lab learning.
Concocting the
yes, so we did our first HTML website for achimotaschool.org.
This is way back.
Achimotaschool.edu. Yes, that was way back.
Way back.
It was difficult getting info because the school wasn't even ready to give us info. So, but then we did what we could, and that's how my journey in IT started. That's a story for another time.
Well, yeah, that is a story for another time. And that story for another time compresses a lot of information. So this is I think we will leave it here for now and pause on this part. We will continue from the IT journey all the way to becoming a photographer. And then after the photography part, the photography part can be a whole like.
Wait, which one do you mean after? I'm still a photographer.
No, I mean, I mean, so from the IT part, you see, even within this,
Mm-hmm.
the okay, so the IT. I remember you mentioned some farming. There are some. I'll call
There
it
are some in-betweens.
engines.
In-betweens. Okay, so before I moved to Niger, I think as a kid,
Yes.
yes, I had some small farms. You know, if you grow up in the village, uh-huh.
In Boko?
No, in Ahinkwa.
Okay, so when you were around 2 years old,
no, I wasn't. It wasn't
grade 2, like in class 2,
that was around 7, 8 years.
You were farming.
If you grew up in the village,
you definitely
as a kid, you know, so you go to the farm in the morning.
Okay.
Then after that, you go to school.
Okay.
That's how it was. I don't know if the village life
and
has
when you
changed
came
now.
back, did you?
No, of course I became a city boy. So
Star boy.
when my dad came for me to Niger and then back to Ghana, village, we only went there once to visit or something.
Oh, okay. So
I became a city boy.
At the village, you weren't staying with your dad.
No, I was with my grandparents.
Okay.
I know from grandparent to one uncle to an auntie,
Then,
like football. Pass.
But it was still within the same.
Yes, you know how my grandfather had, I think, 40 children. Yes.
That's
so my dad had 13 siblings. So I was like, they were playing abate.
So among the,
yes.
But then they are all family. They are all.
It was a lovely experience. I mean, that experience has taught me a lot. Even though back then as a kid, I still remember some of them and how I am today. And I'm like, I would have behaved differently if I didn't have that kind of training. Yeah. Some things that I just overlook now, I would have been aggressive or much more fierce if I did not go through some of those things. Sure. So some of them shaped me. Some were a bit terrible, but
it's all part of the
it's all part
package.
of the molding.
Yeah. So in that case, so you came back.
Are you confused?
When you came back,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you remember? I remember you mentioned something relating to going to do some farming and having some difficulties in Kumasi.
Kumasi. I don't
So
remember
then,
farming in
okay. In
Kumasi.
any case, whilst in our subsequent conversations, and I think some of these things will come up. So we will continue from the IT part, where you schooled, how that led you to your Cape Coast doing the job, and how and
That
all
should be Takrady.
Takrade and all of that. And we will continue that in an upcoming conversation. So if you are here watching this one, there's going to be a part two. If the part two is ready, it's very likely going to be in the comment section. Hey, no, it's going to be in the description. Right now, I'm confused even being a YouTuber.
Yes,
So
you will be confused. And guys, if you prefer this to be a podcast
uh,
also, let's know in the
let's know
comments.
in the comment section, and
Yeah.
then yeah, we'll definitely read the comments, and then if this is something we can continue doing, we'll continue. Thanks for joining me on this part one. We'll continue in the part two, and then take it from there. Thanks for joining me.
Adios.
Adios.
Yes,
Anyway,
adios. It's Spanish, means bye bye.
bye bye.
Yeah.
They have one recently they call Xiao, CIAO.
That's ciao. It's not recently,
I
it's been
beg
there
oh,
since.
I beg oh,
So
it's
here we see
Ciao.
chow, then we say CHOA
Yeah.
or no CHAO. So in school we used to say, hey, that thing chow, like it's plenty. So later we got
Garaman,
to know
we
that the
take
spelling is
everything and then
CI is so
yeah,
it's I think it's Italian. So it's like
ciao,
chow.
ciao.
Yes,
Is it
chow.
is it what they used in the Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So like bye bye Bella, bye bye Bella. You see?
Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll come your way with the second episode very soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.